So today we'll be considering the lines from our opening verse of the Four Thoughts. The lines, the laws of the way things are work internally. Give me the energy to live without shame. And so I'm bringing forward some of the teachings and that we can use for our discussion and sharing our experience later. So we have looked at two of the four thoughts in the last two sessions, the preciousness of our human form and the certainty of impermanence and death. And the third thought that turns the mind toward the Dharma invites us to contemplate karma. Every human thought and action has a cause and an effect, and this is natural law. Every human thought and action which is wholesome, brings peace, and while the unwholesome thoughts feed our suffering. And so the cause and effect of our thoughts and actions are woven into the collective and affect more than our own lives. Every thought, word, and deed shapes the world that we touch. The forces shaping our experience arise within our own minds. The laws of the way things are express the natural unfolding of the way things actually are. These laws work even when we don't believe in them, just as we don't have to believe in gravity to have gravity work or in interbeing. The laws are speaking, that we're speaking to are descriptive rather than prescriptive. And Buddhism isn't asking us to believe. We are meant to examine the teachings and looking again and again until we can see clearly for ourselves the patterns of how things function. A contemplative practice is key to gaining internal recognition of these laws. And I'll give a few examples, just brief ones. Like when anger arises, we experience contraction, heat, distortion, often misperception will follow. And feeling anger, feeding the anger through how we speak and act will cause suffering. And greed arises, and then that's followed by fixation and an obsessive, relentless need. And acting upon greed causes suffering. And when compassion arises, spaciousness and clarity follow. And acting with compassion expands love and brings relief from suffering. So internal recognition of these laws produces clarity and creates space for us to choose whether or not to act on a given mental, emotional formation or not act on it. And rather than being motivated by moral judgment and fear-based shaming, we are able to choose our thoughts and our actions because we see the way that leads to our liberation. And through practice and insight, we understand the consequences of our own actions. Our mind comes to taste its own causes. And to truly experience this is to take a radical responsibility for our own mind. And Thich Nhat Hanh reframed karma as habit energy. We each carry all the seeds that grow suffering, as well as the seeds that mature into harmony and peace. And the ones we give our energy to and act on are the ones that flourish, or just happen habitually, depending on how conscious we are of them. So practicing mindfulness allows us to become conscious of our habitual ways that we nourish suffering. And then we are able to choose, and sometimes this takes choosing over and over and over again throughout the day, to act instead with loving kindness and compassion. And awareness is the process through which we transform our lives and the lives of our ancestors, and the lives of our descendants, and our communities. And the second line is spoken as a prayer or an aspiration. Give me the energy to live without shame. And one of the teachings I found was talking about how shame has a valid function until wisdom replaces it. That when a person is living with a healthy inner conscience, shame and embarrassment can be seen as the guardians of our conscience. They're natural inner protectors that keep us aligned with wholesome action. And they provide an awareness that prevents us from causing harm. And on the other hand, there is what we might call toxic shame, which causes us to foster false and degrading beliefs about ourselves. And as long as we believe thoughts like, I am fundamentally shameful and unworthy, our tendency is to fight or freeze around these false beliefs. And it's when the mind stops misperceiving itself, essentially, that toxic shame is transformed. For when the lie is seen through, then energy for life increases. So rather than attempting to be shameless in the eyes of an external moral code, asking to live without shame is an aspiration to be in integrity, to live in a way that no longer feeds the causes that give rise to regret, self-reproach, and shame. And our practice, our Buddhist practice, is one of interior alignment with our true selves. Asking to be given the energy to live without shame motivates us to perceive natural law. So every human thought and action has a cause and an effect. And mindfulness allows us to perceive the laws of the way things are and make wise choices.